welcome to our OmniSAM weekly live demo. So we're going to be going through OmniSAM and just giving you an overview of the different areas within the software. It is a massive piece of software. It's literally the hub and beating heart of your business, or as I like to call it, your team in a box that's taking care of all those repetitive tasks for you. So every week at this time, 9 a.m. Melbourne, Sydney time, Australia, I'm live doing a demo. Now, I just want to let you know, last week we covered sort of the first top section of the main menu. We're going to quickly just recap on that. I'm not going to go into as much detail as last week, and then we're going to move into the next section. But as always, we've got to kick off with our theme song here in OmniSAM while we wait for all of our VIPs to get on into the breakout room as well, and gives me time to share this video to all the places. So I'll see you back here. You can get up and get your dance on while we wait for 3.5 minutes, and we'll be back with the live demo.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long.
welcome to our weekly live. This is our weekly live demo happening every single week at this time, 9 a.m. Melbourne time. I got partway through sharing. Give me 1 second. I just need to share into our online community to let everyone know to come and join us if they want to. Now, for those of you who would like to join our community, we also have a online community. It's not on Facebook, but it is a community you can all come join. We give lots of tips around OmniSAM, and there's lots of other fun and games and things happening inside the community. So I'm just dropping in the chat a registration link. So if you have not yet done so, come join our online community. There's lots of things we've got planned for 2025, additional incentives and activities, and lots of GSD will be happening inside of there as well. All right. So the reason why you're all here, though, is let me just move this screen out of the way, is so that you can learn more about OmniSAM. So let me head on over to our computer and let's have a look. Here we go. And actually, for those in Zoom, I better do also a share screen as well. And this button. All right, there we go. Okay, so here we are inside of OmniSAM. And the last time we were together last week, we went through a few things. So if I can just get these little, oops, that's not what we want. We need this window out of the way. There we go. Okay, so the last time we were together, we went through a lot of things down this left-hand menu. Now, you may have noticed that we've lost a line. There was a little line that was between money and marketing, and I think it has to do with the fact that, oh, look, the other lines have disappeared in here now too. All right, let me just get into our demo account. I know that the team have been working on the user interface. Let's see if the lines have disappeared here. There were some extra lines in here yesterday. Anyway, the guys have been working on the user interface to do a lot of the things that you're probably not aware of, but really just to increase the load time and the latency on the site. But usually there was a line here between money and marketing. So we went down all of this side last week. So we looked at the conversations panel, and we looked at Jumpstart and all of these things that you can connect when you first join, like Google, you can set up a web chat widget, all of the things there that you can see on screen. They were all explained last week. We also went into great detail about the 3 main sections inside of the conversations panel. And also you'll notice along each of the sections as we work down the left-hand menu, that each of these little buttons along the top, they also change as you go. And also this one here at the very top that currently says learn about conversations, when you're clicking through each of these sections, it will also change as well. And if you click on that little guy, he will give you a little guided tour around. If this is just an extra thing I paid someone to set up. Let's see if it works anymore. It's just a little, see, it starts pointing to things and tells you what's going on, just like that. So that's another way to do a little bit of an orientation around what to do on each of the pages. Then also last week we spoke about the calendars and how to go through the different settings, and also being able to view different user calendars, then the different types of calendars, and the fact that you can create groups of calendars as well. Groups is really great if, for example, you have got a service and, you've got different types of, say, leg waxes, your half leg wax, full leg wax, all that. You can have them grouped together as well. Then we also dived into contacts. So we spoke about each of these little guys along the top. When they all do little things when you select any of the contacts below. Each of these little widgets will help you do different things. We also looked at when we click on the contact record, we spoke about all of these different sections that you can build. Also, your tags. This is where you can see if they're in any workflow automations. Also, if they're in an opportunity pipeline. And then if they have access to any courses or communities that you've built inside of OmniSAM. And then the do not disturb or the opt out area. Then the center area is for all communication. So in this, as it's a demo account, you can't see many, but you'll see this one says email. But if the person is communicating with you in different channels, you will see email, SMS, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. They will all come up along here. If a conversation or a communication happens in any of those channels, and it's different for each of the different contacts, but that allows you to communicate back to that lead or prospect in the method that they prefer, rather than if you've only got one. And when you click these little buttons, whichever button you click, when you send a message below, it's going to go back through that method. So whether it is, SMS or straight to Facebook Messenger. Then the right-hand menu for your contact record is broken into a few different things. One is the activity. So that shows you anything that contact has done. So you can see here, this contact has viewed this page. They have opted in by this opt-in form. They submitted that opt-in form and they visited this page. So if they're clicking in emails and really any activity or actions that the human takes can be shown here. Then there are your tasks. So if you have any tasks like follow-up tasks or things you need to do, you can set those up on the contacts record directly. When you have meetings, this is something that I highly recommend becomes practice, like you have to do. Every time you open a contact record, you must leave a note. Or every time you finish a communication, you must leave a note. Now, this is something that I learned from when I used to work for the government. We dealt with literally nearly every tax-paying person in Australia. And if we entered their customer file, even if we accidentally entered it, we used to have to say why we were there. Now, I mean, you don't have to get that granular, but it is good practice to always, every time you have any communication with somebody, that you just head to their file and add a quick note. Especially, if you've got a brain like a sieve like me, I don't always remember every person and every conversation. I'm not as good as Jackie at remembering that type of stuff. Then appointments. So you can set up straight on the contacts record different appointments that you want to have with them. So that can be done direct on there. Any documents, contracts, even screenshots. So sometimes, we might need to take a screenshot, say, inside of Stripe, or maybe there's a conversation that's happened that hasn't been added to the record. We can also add those into this document section. In the payment area, this will allow you to see current transactions, subscriptions and their current status, any outstanding invoices, and any outstanding estimates, or you might also call them proposals, before they're accepted and turned into invoices. And associations, we spoke a lot about associations, but it's about linking different types of records together. So, for example, if you've got children records and say you're in health and wellness and you've got parents and children, you can link via custom objects. Or, for example, if you are in a car dealership or a real estate agent, you would have, the different car types or property types, then linked to different buyers. So that's custom objects. That was huge. Like the developer team and, the community that I, live in was so excited when custom objects got introduced. It was one of those really big things that turned this into that larger like HubSpot CRM, right? Or Keep, one of those really big CRMs, Klaviyo. It really did put OmniSAM on the map with them. All right, then opportunities. We did dive into opportunities last week as well. This was opportunities is about tracking where a person is in your pipeline. So I broke down the most common ones is a new lead, then somebody showing interest, then somebody booking a call, then whether they're interested or not, and sold. Now, this is just a very basic pipeline, but this is the one that we give you in the Business in a Box. So we give you one that's a new lead. So when they first become a lead and drop into your account, they will automatically land in this pipeline, whether you manually add them in or whether they opt in through a lead funnel or fill in some type of form. That's where they automatically, every time a new contact record is created. Now, once that contact replies to an email or a text message, the system automatically moves them to an engaged lead. So you know that now it's not just a free opt-in or a freebie chaser. Oh, this one's hurting my ear. I've got to take it out. It is also that they're starting a conversation with you. Then we have given you two different types of calendars in your Business in a Box. So one is called an intro call, which could also be classified as like a setting call. Generally, they're about 15 minutes just to qualify the person before you spend an hour with them. But that also depends on, the price of the product that you're selling, whether or not you need a second appointment or not. We've also given you that second appointment. So when they book either of those with the automations, they'll automatically drop into one of those. Now, at the end of the appointment, you will be filling in a form, whether they were a no-show, a cancel, or something else happened. If they automatically cancel, they will move to here. But if they're a no-show, when you click that button to say they're a no-show, it will move them to here. And then, a series of emails goes out to follow up. Then further down the track, after you've done the appointment, then what? Did they buy? If not, they would go to didn't buy. But maybe they're in negotiations now. So now I think in the new Business in a Box, I've actually added negotiation in here as well for you. But that negotiation one, that is still deciding, right? Then customer means they've purchased. Bad fit means they're just not the right type for us. Actively nurturing, that one is they're not yet ready. They're definitely we don't need to keep following up because they've said no at this point, but they're sitting in a long-term nurture and maybe they'll opt back in, or what we like to call a lead return sequence. They'll opt back into that. And if they do, right, and they do opt back in, then they would, of course, come back in here as another engaged lead, which should move them through. But you can, in here, it's really important that you start using this, because this is how we manage our leads. This is also how we make sure leads do not fall through the cracks. And even though some of this is automated, you can automatically move things yourself, right? Move things forward, backwards. You can update notes, right? If we click on this, go straight to the contact's record, see any actions they've taken, communications they've had. And like I said, down the bottom, we can see they're not in any order. Oh, they were in a workflow for a new lead. And they're sitting in the not interested section of the pipeline, right? So that is something that you should get very familiar with. It should be something actually that you come into every single day. Now, while I'm here, I'm not sure if I shared this last week, but there's something I used to do when I worked in network marketing that really I think was a massive help in ensuring that I'd never let leads fall through the crack. And also, I become the number one team builder because I nurtured and I knew exactly everybody that was in my pipeline. So let me just see if I can go into the network marketing one that I'm building at the moment. I'm building a network marketing, a few different automations for network marketers, but this bit that I'm about to show you could also be relevant for you. You don't have to be in network marketing, but see this pipeline here, and you can easily set this one up yourself, okay? You don't need me to do this, but can you see I've got January week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. Now, some years there's a week 5 and some years there's not, but everyone has 5 weeks except for Feb, of course, because that one definitely never has 5 weeks. And this is what we do. Every week, so we're now in January week, let's say 5, I would have people that I need to follow up with this week sitting in this pipeline. In this stage. By the end of the week, January week 5 must be emptied. You're either just deleting them out of the pipeline because they're never going to buy, or they've told you to nick off in maybe sometimes not so nice words, but very, very few people, like 5% of people, I reckon, actually tell you to go away, which I just wish more people would so that we could, free up more time. But if it's none of those removing, they need to move forward somewhere in the future. That way, when you get to that week, you have to reach out to them. Now, my challenge to you is by phone, if possible, right? You're going to convert better. But you could send them a text message and send them an email, or just check that automation went out if there was automation set up for that week. But again, the goal is to remove everybody from that and get them through. Once they become a customer, of course, they don't need to be in there anymore. But this is something that I did. I started in a folder with plastic pockets, and each pocket was a week, and then I had the monthly dividers, and back then we had paper as well that we could fill out order forms on. So I would just write on the order forms and just keep adding notes. And sometimes it was just a half a piece of A5 paper with notes, their phone number and email, and I'll just move them forward in the pockets, right? And honestly, it is an amazing way to make sure you don't forget anyone. So you can set this up yourself. All you need to do is click on the pipelines button at the top here, then click create a new pipeline, then call it weekly follow-up, and then just start naming them. January, week 1. At a stage, January, week 2, right? And just continue. And you don't need me to push this to you because you can do it yourself. So I would recommend, highly, highly recommend that you start doing that because pipelines, even though we can automate a lot of tasks, the human still needs to do things. I mean, my husband and I had a big conversation about AI last night. I definitely spoke a lot more than him. Sure, AI, right now we're in the gold rush era of AI. But no matter what, every time you use any type of bot or AI, a human still needs to check, right? I would never put anything out unless a human has done the work first to make sure it's working, even when you use ChatGPT, right? And those who use it for coding, it doesn't always do the right stuff with code. All right, so that's pipelines. Money. We looked at money last week. We spoke about invoices and setting up invoices. You can also set up reoccurring invoices. You can create templates for your invoices and estimates, or you could call those proposals. They're things that you send out and then the customer can approve them and into an invoice. Also, you can set up all sorts of documents and templates. So say goodbye to HelloSign and DocuSign and all those signing documents. Programs, you can do that in here as well. Again, you can set up templates in those documents, and then, even resources that maybe don't even need to be signed. So something that it's on my to-do list, for example, is an orientation pack that is the PDF. So I want to set all of that up in that document, and then when they buy, it goes out and we've got confirmation that they've read it. Now, a really cool thing that you can do inside of your documents, and I'm not sure if I showed you this last week, but if we create a template, not only can your template have like the normal things like a header, right? And maybe you bring in a logo for your image, and you can even put videos in the document. You can create tables in the document, and you can create a product list. So if you've got products, you can select them and they automatically go in just like a quote would go in. And then I can't do it in this one because I don't think I've set up and connected any payment gateways like Stripe, but you can enable payments straight into these documents as well. So it's amazing what you can actually have inside of these documents now. And then all the things down the bottom turn it from a document to a fillable document as well. And also you will notice this one, the text field, right? So here you can have certain text fields for them to fill in, which then updates information on the customer's record as well. So documents have become so powerful, like having your check boxes and, signatures, but also initials. So in our contracts, we have a little initial under each of the different sections because we want to make sure not only do they sign the bottom, but they actually read each of the sections as well. So, yeah. And every time I see something come out with the developers about documents, I get really excited because it's just going to make life so much easier when everything is in here. All right, so coming back out of documents, once it loads, and it gives me a chance to have a sip of my coffee. So this again is still under money. So this will show you orders placed and anybody who has gone partway through an abandoned checkout. So a really good way to ensure that the abandoned checkout is set up is if you are setting up a checkout on a landing page, you have the option to have a single checkout or a two-step checkout. If you choose the two-step checkout, what happens is they fill in their name and information, and then it goes to the next page, which gets them to put in their credit card details. By having that two-step, we know that they've filled in their info, but they didn't put their credit card details in. And that will then trigger the abandoned checkout email sequence. So, but this is where you will check the list of abandoned checkouts. And what you could also do is pick up the phone and call them and see if they were confused about any of the products, or maybe they wanted a payment plan, or maybe they are just not yet sure and they were deciding between different products. So this is another area, like I was showing you before in the pipeline area, to, keep checking. It's not a bad habit to get in, to come in and check this abandoned checkout area and see if there's anyone in there you can follow up with as well. Next, subscription. So these are where you would go to to see your reoccurring subscriptions and whether they are in like trial, active, overdue, unpaid, cancelled, or failed. So in yours, you'll be able to see that. Payment links. This is if you want to create a special link. So, for example, I might have somebody who wants to purchase one of our programs, and I don't need them to, go to the store page or, I just want one thing for them. I can actually use this to create, and I select the name of the person, and it allows me to just send a link just for them, just special. So this is really great when you are on a sales call, right? And you just want to drop a link into the chat and you've put together all the things that they want to buy. That way you can just send them a link and they can make a payment. Transactions is just what it says. It shows you all the transactions that have processed. Products is where you will set up for your offers. So in here, you will create a product. It could be anything. It could be a t-shirt. It could be your coaching program. It could be a course. And you have the option to show this product in your online store, or if you don't, you can still choose it in the little page widgets that you do on your landing page, like the checkout one that I was telling you about. You will add that product to the funnel, but it won't show in your online store. So for yourself, once you set up an online store, it will be OmniSAM or yourdomain.com.au, and we have store. And this is what the store looks like. So you can choose, whether you have 1 or 6 or however many things across here, but this is what the store looks like. And when you click on the store, it will take you into the product. If it's got payment options, they can choose, or it might just be different t-shirt sizes. And also the description is automatically pulled in from whatever you put in this description area. Then in the media area, whatever you put in there is this, and you can have multiple. So if you've got multiple colored t-shirts, right? Or, if you're selling a dress and you want to show different angles and a close-up of the fabric. So you can put in multiple images in here. Then tax code setups. If you're in Australia, you can't use global. You must use yes or no, and you will set up your own taxes. So in OmniSAM, we've got GST set up in here. If you click yes, then it will include tax in price. If you click no, it will be the price plus tax on top. Under prices, here you can put in as many prices and then variations as you want. So you could choose a one-time payment or a reoccurring payment. Now with reoccurring, you have the option of either having it as a subscription, or you can have it as a 3-pay, for example. So if it was a subscription, you would just say put in $100 and it's going to be paid monthly. Trial period means how many days are free. Number of payments, so that would be, say if it was a 3-pay, then it would end. If you leave that blank, it would just continue. And a setup fee is if you want to charge a setup fee. Another thing to do here is you might do a 7-day, $7 trial into your $333 monthly plan, for example. And you can add multiple, I've got to fill in the rest, but you can add multiple payment options, as you saw back in this example, where you can jump between the two. Then, oops, wrong button. So that was what we covered last week in much more detail. But if you want to go back, same time as last week, it'll have the same subject line. And then we also looked at coupons, settings, and then, of course, integrations. Now, for here, this shows you all the different payment gateways that you can connect to. So the most common one is Stripe. I use Stripe because the fees are less than PayPal. Also because PayPal, you don't have as much control as you do in the back end of Stripe. So in Stripe, I can get in and make other modifications that you just can't do with Stripe. Another big one here in Australia also is Square. I have been trying since I started this business. I've been waiting for Square to come because my husband, our 4-wheel drive club that my husband's on the committee for, they use Square, and I knew that he would never come over until Square, and he's still, finally the committee is starting to say, what is that thing that your wife does? So sounds like last committee that he might be slowly starting to introduce. But if you click that more button, look at all these new payment gateways that are constantly being added, because there was a little while ago when the developers put in this little tiny bit of code that actually opened the gateway into other programmers being able to connect even more payment gateways. So have a look if there's one that you particularly use. I know there's certain ones that, like AuthorizeNet, I know a lot of health and wellness and, doctor surgeries and things. I think just from memory, I did have a couple of clients that I had in health and wellness that had to be on HIPAA. So some of the payment gateways are also HIPAA approved, but of course you'll need to double check. And also on HIPAA, there is an option to have a HIPAA integration to make OmniSAM HIPAA compliant. There is a fee for that. But if you are in that business where you do need HIPAA compliance, that is available. All right. So moving on from where we were last week. So this is new from last week. We're going to now look at marketing. So when I think of marketing, I think, where are the places I can get in front of people that do not know me? And where can I nurture those people that already know me? So if we think it in that point, under marketing, we have the social planner, because on social media, one thing you'll do is post, and you can connect all of these different connections. So you can schedule to all of these different platforms. And like, we've got multiple Facebook pages. Now, nothing connects to groups anymore. That happened back last year. I think it was like July or something around then, where you can no longer schedule direct to groups from anything other than going directly into the group to schedule. And I kind of get the philosophy behind that, because it's meant to be about community and about being present in the group. But also from Facebook's point of view, it forces you to use their platform. But we can connect to all of those. And recently also, we can create and schedule posts in our own communities. So if you have set up your own community in OmniSAM like we have, so here's our community, you can also schedule posts to go up into the community. You also have the opportunity to bulk schedule as well. Sorry, I was just turning off the VIP room. So here in community, and then let me just jump over to our OmniSAM account. Actually, first I'll just open a new tab so I don't lose where I'm at. And I'll go to, so I've just got to make sure I don't land on any private information because we're on a live stream. So just let me make sure I'm under marketing and I'm in the social planner area. And then when I switch to the OmniSAM account, you'll be able to see what the actual planner itself looks like. So here's the planner, and you can see here, look at all the accounts that we are connected to. Now, what happens, just like in your phone, you know when you're on your phone and after a certain amount of time, if you've given your phone permission to access your photos to put posts on Facebook, every so often it disconnects. It's a security thing, right? So every so often it will disconnect from them, and all you've got to do is come in and reconnect anything that expires. Now, usually you'll get an email. Half the time I get that email and I go, later. So maybe a good idea would be to set a monthly task just to check if anything needs to be reconnected. And then you'll just click on it and it'll just get you to log in again and just give permission so that API connection, the little thing in between, works. So I'm just going to go back and do that later. But you'll see you can do all of that so you can connect. That's your connection part of the social media planner. Now, the communities area, this is your community, okay? So remember this community over here. That's where you'll see everything that you do for your community in here. As you can see, I haven't connected any of those yet because it's quite a new feature and we're so busy with so many things at the moment. Then notifications. So these are the things that you want to be notified. So you can see request for post approval. So if I've got somebody else working and scheduling, I might want them to, or I might want to be notified if I want that post scheduled or not, so I can check it. The other one is post failed. It's probably a really good one to have on as well. And I might actually, while I'm in here, turn that on. Because if that happens, your connection may have disappeared, right? You may have unconnected from that particular thing. Now, rejected, that is if, say, it got sent off for approval and the person on the other end rejects it. Now, I'll just let you know that these settings are set up for me, okay? Then the category area, this is brand new and it's so exciting. So what you can now do is you can create folders in here, and let's say we're going to create a folder on time management, right? Because we help people save time. So we also do a lot of posts specifically relating to helping people save time with technology, but in other ways as well. And then say, I've got heaps of different posts on time management in there. Then maybe another one that I have is on funnels, right? So it's another category. Now, inside of these categories, as you're creating the social posts, you can assign them to different categories. Then later, instead of having to choose something different all the time, you can actually now start to schedule posts and say, just pick something from this category. So if you get a big collection and have lots of different categories, you could have a Monday motivation category, and you can put all of your posts for Monday motivation in that. And then when you're setting up the scheduler, you say, just choose something from the Monday motivation category, and it just picks it for you. It's pretty cool, right? I haven't used it yet, as you can see, but it's been something that I'm really excited about. We've just been in a bit of a transition between me losing my Facebook account and also staff, right? The main graphic designer left, and I'm doing design again myself because I'm trying to train the team in other areas. Now, just another thing too, if you're on the live stream and you're watching and you have any questions as I go through this, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat, put a little Q in front, and I'm happy to stop as we're going through this and answer any questions that comes up, right? So I see Samuel here out on Facebook. Help me traveling abroad. So Samuel, if you were going to automate while you're traveling to save you time, we can definitely help you with that. Watermarks, this is if you want to watermark all your social media images, and global settings. All images in the social planner will be optimized for all requirements, formats, and support all channels. Just flick that little guy on. Now, that's just the top level of the social planner. The next is you can start to look at, where is my, I've got to get out of this area, Sally. Back to content. Okay, so now we can see what's been scheduled or what's happened, and we can see a lot of these failed, and because of the connection was disconnected, as you saw. So I should have been checking, but I also didn't have the failed notification on. So that's probably why I didn't notice. But this one here is where you can upload and batch schedule. So if you have not yet done so, we have a Canva Made Easy course that also teaches you how to batch schedule. And the other one is reoccur. So all of our posts are set up and they should reoccur, as you can see, every 26 weeks. This way, you can post it once and then it keeps redoing it every 26 weeks. Now, what will also happen is, the reason why we suggest 26 weeks is because the Facebook has said that if you are reposting in less than 6 months, then you're not going to get as much reach, right? They want new, fresh, engaging content. So our challenge for you, and part of the Canva challenge, is to get 26 weeks of posts done. So if we times 7 by 26, let me do the math, 7 by 26, it's 182 posts. Now, if you use our batch create bot that you will get with Canva Made Easy, it won't actually take you that long. Then once you're done, start to get like us. Our goal is 3 posts a day reoccurring every 26 weeks. Because think about how long a post stays online and then it disappears in the plethora of everybody else's posts. So when you do 3 posts a day, and they're value-only posts, evergreen posts, once that's done, the only thing that you really need to think about when it comes to posting is promotional posts. And you don't feel bad because you've got 3 value posts going out every day. But look, you do not have to be as crazy as me with 3 posts a day. 1 a day is plenty, but you really should have at least 1 post a day. All right, so then no post found. Find review posts in this section. You know, I've never played in here before. RSS, you can create RSS feeds that, you know, there's a lot of people now using these in emails. So because there's a lot of information out there online, I love getting an RSS feed where I just get a summary of everything that's been updated. So then you can just click on the things that are really important rather than having things coming out in, you know, really long emails. You can just see summaries. Another good thing with RSS, people use them for podcasts as well. Your template library, you can create a library of templates to help you. The approval area, this is if you have somebody working for you and they're scheduling posts, but they need you to check them first. They will live in this approval area. Then statistics, the sexy numbers. So here is where you can start to go through. And as you can see, because our connection broke to these platforms and nobody's been available to check, there's not a lot of sexy numbers in here. But if you're like me and you do love your numbers, this is a really great place to come, and you can look at all the numbers based off different posts. And you know, one thing that we used to do, which, you know, we haven't had time for recently, was every month, we would just 1 day a month, we would look back at results from 2 months ago and find the top performing posts. So we've just got to look at 28 days of posts, and the ones that are the top performing ones, we would make sure that we noted those, and then any that were, you know, useless, if time allowed, we would replace those with something else, or we would go and find another top performing post. So it depends. Like, this happens over years, okay? It's not something that you will do in your first year, but after the first year, you've got a lot of data, and you can start to, start grabbing the most, engaging posts, and then using those for reposts, and then maybe it's 10% of your value content, you're testing new things, right? So, it's a way to start to increase the quality of your post. But like I said, this really happens over years of testing and measuring. It's not something that you will have really great results for straight away. And then also just consider time versus value. Spending time building a funnel and booking appointments is more value to you than trawling through this data to find a post that just gets more smiley, happy faces, right? Where do you want to spend your time? So yeah, just be mindful not to spend time here because maybe it's fun and easy versus, making those follow-up phone calls. All right, so the other thing in marketing is emails. Of course, we are going to send emails. So there's a couple of parts under emails. So one of them is a campaign. So a campaign would be a broadcast like a newsletter, something that you may send out, that's different every week or month. So a newsletter that is updated with, say, your top performing clients, right? Or your current promotions for the month. So in here, you could create an email campaign. You can use many templates, right? There are lots and lots of email templates to choose from, right? And we're always adding more to the list as well. And a lot of these some of these templates may also be part of our training packages that we give you as well. So you can just come straight into the templates and, use our AI writing bot to help you with that. So that's what you would use your campaigns for. And then here is emails that go out and have been published that are living in a workflow. So you will see when you've come in and made edits to any emails that you may have as templates or written in your templates area, it'll let you know when they're last updated. So you'll be able to look at anything that lives in a workflow. All right. So just know the difference here is a direct email straight out. And if I just, for example, come into, I didn't end up writing that. I was going to create a campaign in here for advising you about our New Year's Eve event. But you could come into here and then you could create a campaign. And in the campaign, you could, choose an email. And in this email, you write the email. Then you go to send and schedule. And now you would choose either, say it's a newsletter, you would go send now, potentially, or schedule them for the future, right? And here, this is the most important part, segmentation of your list. So if you want all contacts, you could just click all contacts. But if you've created smart lists, then here, when you come in, you could choose which smart list. So maybe I just want to send it to our elites, right? And you click on that and it'll just send out to the elites. So it depends on what the campaign is, but this is great for segmentation. But also, it's not something that you're going to need in a workflow, right? So, for example, what I haven't done yet is I will have a strategy with Sally email campaign that I just use on repeat, and every week the topic changes. So I just go in, I edit the topic, and then I send that campaign. And the reason why I do it weekly is because half the time I don't even know what I'm doing until the day of. All right. So that's your two different email types, but then come down here into templates. So this is where you will save all your own templates, but we have, actually, if I just come back down here, you'll see we've got lots of templates in here, but one that you guys will recognize is, I've actually put all mine into one folder. Yours will be in separate folders, but the weekly written emails that go out in your long-term nurture. So you can edit them in the workflow, these ones, but it's quicker sometimes just to come into here and edit them. And also when you're editing them, one thing to note in templates is you should always come up to this 3 little dot up the top, which some people forget to do. And when you click on settings, you can actually do your from name and the subject line and the preview line on the template. So then when you attach the template in a workflow, it automatically fills all of this information in for you. So when we go into templates, workflows, I'll show you that later. All right, so templates are, a really great thing to have. As you can see, in an email, it's as easy as drag and drop, right? And fill in the things that you need. There's different design elements. It's very similar to a landing page builder where you drag and drop in different things, all right? And it also has the global section. So you can see here the weekly automation made easy playbook. So that's our weekly value email. I've got the header here as a global save. So I saved it here. And now whenever I write an email, I just need to drag in my header, right? I don't need to change it. Or especially if you're updating all of the templates in the business in a box, you'll make the footer look like your brand. And you don't want to have to do that every time in the email. So save it, click the save button. And then when you go into an email you haven't added, it's very easy to drag in your footer, drag in your header, and then all you have to do is read the text. And my little trick here is always put a tick once you're happy with the content. So that's done. And I never have to come back to this email. And this email is going to go out not that one, but a email will go out every week for 2 years. And then they just go back to the start. But there's lots of training on that 2-year one. Now, snippets. So snippets are pieces of text that you may have written that instead of doing writing a block of text over and over and over again, you can actually use snippets. So you can see here the complementary strategy call here. If I click this, edit, you can see this snippet is set up and it looks like this to send a email, and this is what it will look like. And when you're putting together your emails, you don't have to write all of this. So, for example, if you were in a client file and you have a regular reply, another way to think about this is if you've ever heard the word canned responses, same thing. It's like a response that we do quite regularly. For example, if somebody wants to cancel, something we always say is you need to speak to Jackie. We cannot cancel without verbal confirmation because, well, think about what OmniSAM is. It's the beating heart of your business. It runs everything. And if we just canceled people's accounts because we got an email, we could literally do what Facebook did to me, right? Is just cut everything off. So a verbal confirmation is required. So that's a regular thing that goes in an email, and it should be saved as a snippet. And then you can sort your snippets into folders for easy to find. as well. All right, I am so excited to play with this. So our new countdown timers. So if anyone has ever used Deadline Funnel, just bear with me. I've got to get these headphones out of my ears because they're killing my ears today for some reason. So if anyone has ever used Deadline Funnel before, what that does is it gives you a timer that is linked to that person and that device. So if they open an email and they go to the landing page and the timer has, is at 96 minutes, the next time they go there, it'll be at 80 minutes. But for somebody else who is just joining, maybe the countdown is for 2 days and that's where it starts. When they first click the link, it'll go to 2 days. And then so they're both seeing different timers. Right? That's the most exciting part about the timers to me, because I used to pay Deadline Funnel for that, because you want to be authentic and truthful about your countdown timers. And if you're giving this person just 24 hours or 48 hours to make up their mind, for example, we've got a few offers that are tied to a strategy session that I do. And if they don't take the offer within a certain time frame, that stuff becomes no longer relevant and I have to redo the whole strategy session again. So they've got a certain amount of time to make a decision. And these will be used in your webinar funnels as well. But also, look at all of these pretty designs you can choose from. Like, this was very similar to what I used to always use with Deadline Funnel. I love these little colored circles because it's an infographic, and it's a proper infographic that shows actual like percentages. And I mean, I was one of my favorite subjects, and then I did a lot of infographic design. So, but then once you click on your timer and you've chosen it, then you get to choose what. So is it a fixed timer, right, that always starts and then ends at a certain time? Is it a reoccurring timer? So, for example, maybe you run a webinar on the same day every week. Oh, I should have a page for Strategy with Sally and also one for the live demo, because that happens the same time every week. So it reoccurs, and you can say how many times you want it to loop, and the start time. And then if the timer ends, where does it go? So you should have an expired page, just a generic one that all timers go to when they end. And then this one is the dynamic one. So this is the one that is linked to when either the user opens the email, or if it is based off a send time that it goes out. This is the one I'm so excited. When I've got time, I'm the chef that doesn't cook at home. Right? I have all these fancy tools that we spend so much time building for our clients that I don't get to use it in our system. And then also branding, right? You can get in here, you can change the colors, right? Of course, we're a bit purple around here. So you can do all of that as well. And then your expiration image URL. If you don't have a page that you're sending them to, then it can go straight to this image. But, I like to have a so bad page that we generically send to them. Now, with these, once you've actually created them, there's a couple of ways in which you will use them. So one is you can copy this code and just put it onto a website. So this is more for if, for example, your website is not in OmniSAM. For example, WordPress, you would use this code. And this one, emails. How exciting to have an active countdown in an actual email. So there is your timers. Now, as you can see, when you think about all of these, this has to do with marketing, right? That's why we have timers. It helps the function of marketing. Now, trigger links. So if you think about your workflows, to trigger an automation, is a workflow. So if you have trigger links do the same thing. They, one, let us know that something has happened, and also a trigger link might trigger an event. So it could, for this one, if they have, clicked on the negative button on the feedback form, we want to know who that person is. So it pulls in this URL data, and this is the trigger link that it is put on the button. So instead of just your normal URL, this will actually trigger that you've received negative feedback, and then it'll send an email and follow up with them. It'll also, we've set up a task that lets the team know that you've received negative feedback. Go and contact them and find out how we can do better. So that's what your trigger links are there for. Also, you'll have your sort of standard unsubscribe one. So when they click the button, sure, it unsubscribes them. It'll add the do not disturb. Also, maybe you want to add a tag so that you never send. Another great trigger link is what I call the soft unsubscribe. So the soft unsubscribe is I'm not interested in this campaign. So if we're running, say, a List Growth Made Easy challenge, and they're just not interested in any more promotions about that, but they don't want to get removed from your list, a good trigger link would be to have a soft unsubscribe from a particular promotion, and then it just pulls them out of your emails for that promotion. Or what else is it? Yeah, so that's really, we teach you that when you're running a sales promotion, because you don't want to keep hitting them, especially at the end of the last few days. We're hitting them with like 3 emails a day because they've only got 48 hours to buy. But they're like, I'm definitely not buying. Like, just stop now. Still love you, but stop, kind of thing. So that's another good thing to think about, to put and create trigger links for. And then you can analyze the data of your trigger links as well. As you know, I love my sexy numbers. There's no data in there. Again, where are we here? So you can, come in here and this is where you can also edit. So next is affiliates. So if you're somebody who is going to ask people to help you sell your products, here is where you will set up your own affiliate manager. Now, I know a few of you will be like, oh, but aren't you using First Promoter? Why are you not using this? Because the way the software is created and the way it all links together with Stripe and the agency and products is very different to just a normal product. So it doesn't work well with us. However, any product that you set up in this money area will work fine, okay? We just don't build the software in the money area. We build it somewhere else, okay? So, but anyone you want to be an affiliate, you can create your own affiliate. So if we go down here to settings under affiliate manager, you can set up the cookie life. So when they click on the link from the partner, how long will you allow them to have credit for that sale? So you can choose how long. Then the payment terms are how long after the sale will you make the payment? So we usually do 60, because if anyone cancels, we then have to claw back that money, right? So you've got to give time for people to get through the trial, to make their payments, to not ask for a refund. So to avoid having to claw back money from affiliates, we just do a 60-day. Then here is include a setup fee. So this is if you, for example, want to just give them a percentage of sale, or sorry, not a percentage of sale. It could be like $100, right? When they have a sale. Now the sub affiliate page, this one here is where the affiliates log in and then they see all of their information and they can find, let me just go and show you. If I go to, I wonder if ours is still active since I've turned it off. So your campaigns is where you link your products to the affiliate campaigns. Hang on. Sorry. I shouldn't click there. Yes. Just bear with me while I get out of there. And I can't show you any of this. Nah, it's all private. Let me see if I can just get straight in then to the affiliate area without giving away personal info. Sorry, guys. I just want to... All right, it's not going to. All right, let me go back to the demo account. I just don't want to accidentally. So here under campaigns, this is where you will build out your affiliate campaign. So you'll work your way through and set up what the affiliate area looks like. If you've got people that are already registered, otherwise they can register themselves. And then they'll start to pop up in the affiliate area here, okay? Then you will also see payouts. You still have to manually do the payouts, and I find it's actually lovely. I love sitting there at the end of the month going, thank you, and just hitting the PayPal button. Please pay, please pay. Now, brand boards, this one's all about your brand. So making design easier for you. So if you upload your logo, your colors, your typography on your brand board, if we just start from new, on a brand board, you have 2 logos at this time, just a long one and a square one. Then also you can choose up to 10 colors. So you can come in here and you can add as many colors in here as you want. Oh no, sorry, up to 10. And then into this one where you set up your typography, and you can set up to 5 different typography choices. I would also recommend search and choose web safe fonts. Then name your brand board, set as default if you've got 2 of them. Then when you're designing later, you will actually find on landing pages and in emails, there'll be like a quick reference guide to like choose your colors, right? Or all your landing pages and things will default to the brand ones for you. Ad Manager, if you want to, you can connect Ad Manager. I have a friend who's also an agency like me, and she's using this and she's loving it. She says it's really easy to connect. I haven't, because I'm still sorting out all the Facebook issues, but everything then is connected directly in here. I'm in conversations with an expert to get a Facebook ads expert in here for you as an elite. I am good at them. I can do them, but I don't enjoy teaching them, and I don't like monitoring it. I'm happy to have a look through your ads and give you some suggestions, but I'm not somebody who wants to sit there and watch ads all day, and it's not what we're good at. Automation and AI with heart is what we're good at, right? But you can connect it all in here. You get a lot of insights, and apparently it's really good. This is what I've heard. And I really trust this person I spoke with as well. Now, prospecting, this is a feature if you want to go out to different areas. And it'll tell you businesses and information around your area. So you can reach out to people who are specifically interested in what it is you do. So if you wanted to, a lot of people pay a lot of money to get these type of lists, and you can use it. It is a subscription offer, but it will allow you to get analytics, data, lead information, conversion information, all from wherever this is linked to. Right? So with it, you will also get really a great prospecting list, right? So here's an example of some of the information that you will get along with business details. So you can do those cold calls, right? And what it's doing is it's comparing data that's already out there on the internet, right? Things that they're using. Are they running ads? Especially for us, if we find somebody's running ads, right, or they're listed on all of these places, it means that they're probably a company who's willing to spend money to make money. So this prospecting tool is pretty awesome. And another cool thing is come in here and look at all of these things and get yourself listed on them, right? There is also a plugin that you can use. It's called Yext, and we get a bit of a discount on that. And Yext will actually, you put all the information into Yext and it goes out and it actually does all of those listings down here for you, right? So this, as you can see, this is all about getting in front of new eyes or nurturing the people you've got, right? So social media, emails, quick replies for emails, which are your snippets, countdown timers for your offers, trigger links to trigger events, and affiliates so you can, get referrals from your clients and customers. Or another great affiliate to think of actually is not collaboration affiliates, complementary businesses, not competition businesses that you both can work alongside of. So for example, I work with Amy Porterfield and Shalene Johnson and sometimes Pat Flynn. We're all in marketing, but we do different things, right? Amy's definitely more towards the startup. We're more of established, already got paying clients. And Shalene's is definitely more around the social media because both Brock and Shalene are huge on repurposing and social media. So you can see there's complements there. And next month, I'm actually running a month-long training in Shalene's community. So that is marketing. Now, each week we're going to go deeper into each of these because honestly, everything we covered up the top here was, just general sort of CRM and payment stuff. But this is marketing. This is time, right? This is your little team in a box here. All the automation gets built in here. So many things. So the next one is automation. As you can see, there's not a lot of things along the top here because we build all the things that want to be automated. This is where we do it. So if somebody opts in, you have your recurring invoices, even tasks that you need to have created. So for example, if somebody books an appointment, we send a task to the person managing my calendar to make sure that not only is the appointment that shows on my calendar, but it also goes to the master calendar as well. Right? That's something that has to be manually done so that the larger team sees all the appointments. There's many other things you can set up. But the first thing is you just sort of come into your global settings first, right? And then, turn on some of the standard things like your email notifications for if there's a workflow error. It's a good idea to be notified if there's an error, so you can go in and fix it. Also, if you're running a campaign, and this has happened to me in the past, we were running a campaign and then we had a death in the family and we had to stop that campaign. You can come in here and just pause it, right? And pause that particular campaign and then reset it to go later. Then let me just go back to your automations and let's just go in and look in the automation area. First off, there are lots of recipes here for you to pick from. So these are just some standard ones. So if you're not great at automation, you can choose some of these options. So let's have a look here. We've got lead nurture using GPT history. We've got a Shopify order plus GPT history, because you can link Shopify. It's a already set up integration we have. We also can link your WhatsApp business account. Here's for a missed call text back. So these are huge. For example, if you are in the trade industry and you do emergency things like leaking roof, bursted pipe, and somebody's ringing, trying to find somebody, and you don't answer, what's the first thing they're going to do? Ring the next person. But what if when they hang up from you, they get a WhatsApp message back that says, sorry, I missed your call. What can I help you with? Right? And then the text message is actually sent, or a WhatsApp message is sent to you, the user, with a phone number to click on to ring them straight back. So, it putting a thing in place. And there's many businesses that I've seen that are making so much more money because of just that single missed call text back. Send a product recommendation, Instagram message, comment recipe. So you would have seen these, comment the word demo below and it triggers something. Same for Facebook. And I have not played with the AI part in this. This one is for those who have communication centers connected, so phone calls coming in and then navigated to different teams. An email drip sequence. So this is for those who you want to drip an email out to somebody and it goes out over time, and we've already set one up for you, which is your long-term nurture. And also from that, if they open the email, it can trigger other things. We actually have one that it's a separate thing, but it's not in the business in a box, but it's called a cycling offer, where every week a certain offer goes out and they're very different, each offer. If they open the email, say 1 week's time management, second week is list growth, third week is funnels. If they open time management, then they go down a series of emails for time management with an offer at the end. Then next week, it'll send the next email on automation. If they don't open it, it'll just not send any emails, and then it skips to the next week and it'll send whatever I said. Now, once they get to the end of that sequence and they circle back, then it will go, have they been down time management before? If yes, skip and send them the next week. Have they opened that one before? No, we'll send that email. So that's a really great, we call this one a cycling offer automation. Long-term nurture reactivation. So this is when somebody has not been active for a certain amount of time. You can send a series of emails to tempt them to open and get them back into your most engaged. Recipe for Fast 5 Light. So this is just when you get a brand new lead that comes in and they're hot and they've opened, say, 2 or 3 emails. Now we want to send them various things to get them onto an appointment. So you might send them a text message, you might send them a voicemail and an email and a WhatsApp, all in a 5-minute block, because they're hot. They've opened every email for the last week. So now it's like, okay, let's get them from all the places at once and see if we can get that appointment on the calendar. FAQ, auto reply. I have not been in and tried this one, but it says auto replies to frequently asked questions. Right. So I believe this will probably be a trigger event that would be set up to do that. Say an email comes in that's always the same. We can just trigger a tag or something. I'd have to go inside it and have a look. Webinar registration. So if you're setting up webinars, again, most of the automations are done for you. The recipe, what's this one? The odds of closing a lead decrease dramatically after 5 minutes. This workflow delivers the ultimate first 5 minutes lead nurture. Oh, I'm wondering how that's different from that one. Probably just got more stuff in it.
Yeah, because it's got the word ultimate on this one, and this has got light on it. Probably just a little more things. Appointment confirmation and reminders, and a survey request. Now, calendars, as I showed you last week, they already have reminders in them now, where we used to have to build them ourselves. But if you have a survey or a qualifying questionnaire that needs to be done before an appointment, then this will send them a series of messages until they complete that survey. Send a review request. So this one will happen after every sale. It will automatically send an email and a text message to request a review, and that'll all be set up down here also in reputation. Appointment bookings. So again, this one, even though, what was I going to say? Even though calendars now have reminders, confirmations, and all of that automated directly in the calendar section, it still does not do text messages. So you will still need to, if you're using text messages, you're still going to need an automation for the text message component. Google My Business. So when somebody leaves you actually this messaging they turned off last year. They discontinued messaging. I figure Google realized that people message in so many places now that was not an area that they needed to do. I would say after they had it on for a certain amount of time, what they've done is they've gone, well, it's not really being utilized, so why should we be paying staff to make sure that that thing works? So, yeah, they got rid of it. Facebook Messenger. So when an inbound message is waiting, reply and remove pending tag, or you'll be prompted, or will prompt the lead to share a phone number after 30 minutes. So that would be if they send you a message, it will send a reply. A staff member will get back to you soon. If it doesn't, then ask them to, maybe the staff member didn't check, didn't see. I'd ask them for a phone number, and then, of course, you can call them. Auto missed call text back. So this happens similar to the, that was what I was talking about before. This is the text back option. The one above was the WhatsApp one. No-show nurture. So we've built one for you in the Business in a Box. So that you got that covered. The birthday, again, we've given you that in the Business in a Box. You've got that covered. And then appointment confirmation and reminders, you don't need to worry about that anymore because they have attached that to calendars. And list reactivation, we've already given you and set a better one up in that. So there are the templates that you could go in and play. But let me show you if we just go start from scratch. The only way where you can be added into this template, a few ways. One, manually. From the contact record, you could go add to workflow. Second is maybe in another workflow. For example, we've got workflows that say, if this person is re-engaged, add to this workflow and, change these tags. And the main way people get into workflows is this. It's called a trigger. Now, we spoke earlier about the trigger links. So somebody clicks on one of those links, that could be a trigger. Now, what I love about this is the way because we use the OmniSAM or the OmniSAM tagging way. And we used to have so many trigger tags in the old system we used to build. But you don't need tags to trigger events anymore. Look at all of these different options that you can do to start whatever automation you want to put in here. So if it's their birthday, right? When the birthday reminder comes up and it would probably be number of days before birthday, then you'd say 7 days before birthday, send them a special offer because they've got a birthday coming up, or it could be a birthday month. Another trigger event that you could bring people in is something's changed on the contact record, right? So maybe you move them. You've got a checkbox on the contact record that says send them the onboarding series, and you check that box and saved it, and it puts them into this workflow. This is the big one that we use for the long-term nurture. Every time a contact is created, so a brand new contact automatically gets pulled into the long-term nurture. And you can filter that down further. It could be maybe it has a tag of a certain type, or maybe, well, there's no custom fields, but it could be something there. Now, the next one we've got here, and this is one for they have said do not disturb, which is usually they've clicked on the unsubscribe button. So either we have disabled or enabled a specific channel, which could be a WhatsApp, an SMS, Facebook, Google My Business, or you could say enable. So if they have been removed from the list, so here's how we would use enable. Say they have unsubscribed from the list, but then they reply to an email. The reply to that email, that could be the trigger that sets them as available to contact again. And then when they've been enabled, we could send an email and welcome them back onto the list. Custom date reminders. This is great for, no, we've got notes down here. So any other things that you might need based off a custom date. If you add a note to a customer's record, is there any triggers you want off that? If you change the notes on a customer's record, is there any automation you want off that? If you create a task, is there any automation you want from that? If you want, if a task reminder goes off, then what? Or when you complete a task, then what? You can also set up contact engagement scoring. So this is a little bit more techie, but based off certain things that people do, raises their engagement score. And when they get to a certain level, then they become like a hot lead. They move from a cold to a warm to a hot. Now, all of these ones down here are events that are happening outside of the CRM components. So this is a webhook, a little bit more techie, but it's usually two bits of software talking to each other. If you've got your phone connected, an email event happens, like an email open, an email click, right? A customer replies, whether it's a reply to a Facebook, a Messenger, a WhatsApp, an SMS, an email. This one here is form submitted. You will use this a lot for your opt-ins. So if somebody opts into a freebie, that is the form submitted. Then it triggers and it sends them an email and follow-up emails. If you're doing a survey, right, after they submit the survey, do you want to send them the results? Do you want to thank them for the survey? Trigger links, we spoke about those earlier. Facebook lead form. So if you are using the Facebook part in marketing and you've connected your lead form, if they fill in a form, then you probably want to send them some emails. The same with TikTok, if they fill in a form on TikTok marketing. Video tracking. So this one, with your video tracking, it's time watched, I believe. So, you know, if they are watching a certain video and they get to a certain point in the video, you know they're interested in your product. Maybe you want to trigger a task for the team to reach out to that person because they got to, you know, the end of the video. Shows they're highly engaged and interested. Then we've got our phone number validation. This is just for checking phone numbers are true and correct. If it's wrong, then it will trigger this and D&D them. If it's good, then it will un-D&D them. LinkedIn, again, an external lead form on LinkedIn. If people view a certain page, so if they've clicked on a link in an email and then they've gotten to a certain page, you may want to then continue to track what they're doing. Quizzes, it's just like forms, but you've got forms, which is collecting data. Surveys is usually collecting data, but also comparing it against other people's results. And a quiz is segmenting and putting people into buckets. Another trigger is a review received on Facebook or Instagram. Appointment status update, so maybe they change their time when they book. Opportunity change, so we showed you the opportunity pipeline. That's if you're dragging them between stages. So whether you update their status, whether you create a new one, whether you change them or move them in the pipeline, change the pipeline, Stale opportunities, so those that have been in the pipeline for too long, right? This one, for the stale opportunity, say somebody has been in the pipeline, say this pipeline, and they have, where is it? Status is open, and then you would do duration is, so say maybe they've been in there for 90 days and not moved. They just probably need to get moved to the long-term nurture, right? They don't need to live in the start of the pipeline any longer because they're just not interacting with your stuff. It doesn't mean we're removing them from your list. It just means they don't need to live in the pipeline, clean it up, so you're only spending time on the people you need. What else we got in here? Pipelines. Then you've got all your affiliate triggers, a new affiliate, new sale, enrolled, category started, completed. So remember back in the email categories, courses. Categories are your modules, and then lessons are your lessons. So you can trigger things for those. So for example, if they have started and then they have not done anything for 30 days, send a follow-up email. I see you logged in, but you just don't seem to be progressing. Is there something I can help you with? If you get a new sign-up, if you're manually granting or removing access, do you want any automations off the back end of that? If you remove access to a product, do you want any automations? If they start, complete, and user login, this is usually if you want to track when they're logging in, and you could create like a number counter, which is an automation as well. Invoices, all of these different things for invoices, received, submissions, contracts, signed, estimates, subscriptions and refunds. So as this lives all under the money area on that left-hand panel, but any of these events can also be a trigger. If you're connected to Shopify, if you've got a phone IVR connected, this is the Instagram commenting on posts. This is in communities. So if they've been granted, revoked, you want to give them access to a particular channel, or you want to revoke access to particular channels, or if you want to, when they up level in the community, you could send them an email. And if you want to, if your courses trigger certificates, so like for us, when we start our certification program, you're going to be able to get certified, say, in the social media planner or in workflows or in the money area. At the end of the certification, we can trigger a certificate. And then when the certificate is triggered, maybe we want to send them a welcome and send a task to the team to follow up. And then these are all different apps that you can connect, right? So these are external apps that have had the API integration written. So there's no API work or work like Zapier API triggers that you need to do. So these ones are all ready-made ones that you might use. I don't actually use any of those myself. So that's the triggers part of how to get people into a workflow. And honestly, when this is what we do best, right? We can help you build courses and we can help you build landing pages. But what we do best is this, the automation. This is where my brain thinks and lives a lot of the time. So if you're ever doing a task and you've done it 3 times, I want you to stop and ask yourself, can this be automated? Because by maybe taking a day to automate a 5-minute task means you never have to do it again. But if you get stuck, that's why you have us, because that is what we do well, right? Is sitting there and looking at your current systems and processes and automating them. Now, if you've got the business in a box, you will know we have already built so many of these that you would never have even thought about. But the reason why we know about it is it's because it's what we do all day, every day. It's the thing we're best at. Now, once you trigger, the actions is whatever your mind can think of, we can probably do most of it, especially with the AI stuff that's coming and is now integrated in here. But have a look. You know, we can trigger certain things, and then when something happens, a contact's created, or a search for a contact, or updating fields and adding tags and assigning staff members, or editing conversations, adding notes, creating tasks, duplicating contacts, deleting contacts, changing your lead score, you know, adding followers to contacts. So that's additional staff members that are also following, sending emails, text messages, sending information to Slack, making a phone call, sending a voicemail, sending a messenger, a DM, a manual action to SMS, which would be telling you to do that if your phone isn't connected, a manual action to call. So, you know, if your phone system's not connected in here, then you have a manual action to remind you to call. This is no longer available. Send internal notifications. So most of the internal notifications will either be an email, a text message, or the little bell that lives up the top in the app. They make a purchase 3 days later, ask for a review. The conversational AI bot. So this can help you reply to people. Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, and replies are all in beta. So that means, you know, they're not totally working. So if you do test anything that's in beta, if you see anything that's wrong, let us know. WhatsApp, send a live chat message, you know, log an external call. So a call comes into your IVR, right? It finds it, it logs it and adds a note. All of this here, this is your AI that can book your appointment for you. It will look at your appointment. It will check what's available and give them options to book. And then instead of the person booking, the AI can do it for you. WhatsApp, again, updating the conversational AI bot, booking appointment. Webhooks, this is how we connect to other third-party platforms, is using webhooks. And webhooks, one will be sending data out, and another would be a webhook sending data in as well, which would be up here in the trigger. Update a Google Sheet. Now this here, this is a few things that will decide what's happening inside the actual workflow. So this is a decision point. So if they have this tag, send them that way. If they have the other tag, send them that way. Wait is a delay, either a delay based on date, on amount of time, like 5 minutes, 1 day, 30 days, or based off an event. So say they've got a meeting and a calendar appointment booked. Maybe you want to wait for 1 day after and send a review, or it's their birthday. Wait until their birthday and send them an email. The goal is what lives at the bottom of a workflow, and if the people in that workflow hit that goal, it pulls them straight through. So one might be book an appointment. So you've got a series of emails going out saying, book an appointment. Hey, why don't you book an appointment? And now they've booked. Well, we don't want them to keep getting those emails. So if they get an appointment, pull them down. Or another one, get a sale, pull them down, right? Or register for a promotion. They register, pull them down so that they don't keep getting their emails. Split, again, is segmenting people off. Update custom values. So these are, all the little fields, name, email, right there, your standard fields. But if you've got any other custom fields like we have, I'll give you an example of one. When you register to get into our Facebook group, we ask you a series of questions. Those questions have a webhook into our system and it automatically updates. And the main questions are, what's your email? What's your biggest struggle? And what are you hoping to get out of the group? No. Yep. There might be how long you've been in business and who do you serve. So it updates that. So I can see those notes on the customer's file. Go to is just, if you're going down a flow and you want to move them across. Date and time, it sets an actual date and time. This is used really for webinars and things. The number formatter, so it's making sure that numbers are dollars or time or something like that. A math operation, that one is, say, every time somebody opens an email, we want to say once they've opened 5 emails, so it would trigger at the top, email opened. We would add 1 to their lead score. They open another one, it triggers, and then add 1. So now the number 1 becomes 2. And then when they hit 5, they become a warm lead. Set an event date. So that could be birthday. It could be based off a holiday, the one that you guys have in July 4th. Could be one of those. Add to workflow. So this is a workflow that we're in. Maybe you also want to send them to another workflow. Or if they enter this workflow and they need to be removed from another. So again, you could use the goal one to pull them down. Or you could, when they opt in, just remove from the promotional workflow. Array functions. This is, so this is where we're asking them to look for information within a file. It's more techie for the techie people out there. Also, moving on down, drip, that just means, when somebody hits this point, so say maybe 1,000 people hit the text message and you don't want to send 1,000 text messages at once, you might say drip, 3 people through every 30 seconds. GPT, you can connect straight through GPT. Eliza is an internal bot that has been created inside of OmniSAM. The appointment booking updates, opportunity, so that's your pipeline updates, payment updates, and then a lot of marketing metrics, right? So when we get this one here, a conversion from Facebook, it automatically adds this conversion API. It's a tracking thing. Again, it's a bit more techie. Lots of things you can do to the affiliates section. This is if you would connect a phone. This is for your course. So grant the course, revoke the course. This is your community, right? So maybe based off a tag, you grant or revoke certain channels, and of course automatically issue. So these are like so many things you can do. Now I can tell you from the last software that I used before, doing OmniSAM, we used to call it spaghetti because people's automations just look like spaghetti. What I love about this is it forces you to go straight. So the more things you add in each section, you've got to choose an offer. This is probably not a good one to choose. You will be forced to go down straight. Now, if you're not sure what to build, you can use the little AI button over here, right? And you can say and ask it a question. So, for example, it's going to look at your workflow and it's going to tell you what it thinks it is for. So a good example of this, let me just show you actually. Let's get out of here and let's go to a business in a box. So we'll go to the Dance Studio business in a box. Now, just know that these are not yet fixed for the new 7 stages that we went through last week. But let's say we go into, let's choose something a little bit complicated. So let's do this one. So here, you would come into a workflow. Oop. So like you might come in, holy Jesus, what's going on in here? Right? What you can do is you can come over to the little AI. Where is he hiding? Why is he not in here? Or maybe I haven't turned it on in here because it's a demo account. Yeah, that's what it'll be. All right. Yeah, let's just go into one of the ones down here because this should be working. So if I go into this and then I go into my inbound leads. Oh, maybe I haven't connected it in mine either. Why? Anyway. Oh, and this is new too. Adding notes. Oh my God, this is so good. I should actually spend a little bit of time and go through the businesses in a box. So here we can actually explain what this workflow is for, right? How cool is that? Being able to come in here now and actually explain what it is for. And also sticky notes. So I can grab a sticky note now and put information about what's happening in this workflow for you guys. So for example, if we're talking about the long-term nurture, I could come in here and say, edit these emails and change the name of the email and put the tick on it when done, right? Or I could link a training video in here for you to go and watch information about the workflow. So this is the one thing that when I saw this come out a few weeks ago, I was like, oh yes, but then I'm like, oh, then I've got to go make all the videos. All right, so here, if we now click on the suggestion AI, what it's going to do is it's going to analyze the workflow and it's going to tell you what's happening, right? And then if you want to add any of the suggestions, you can click and then put where they're supposed to go. Also, I believe you can say, how do I add a checkout for a purchase? I think this is. So then while you're in the workflow, it's going to give you suggestions on how to build, and you can use it to also build if you do not understand. So you can see here it said to add a checkout for a purchase for your automation workflow, you typically use a payment related action. Let me guide you through. So select payment actions, choose the action like Stripe, configure the amount, the currency, the details, workflows, right? And then down the bottom here, it actually adds the actions and suggestions for creating the workflow. So if anyone actually builds something from scratch using this, I would love to hear how you go, especially if workflows are not your thing. But yeah, and then of course you've got the add actions button, which will analyze and find the right places to add the actions. I'm going to just say no to all of the things that's about to happen here because I believe this is my account and it's an active flow. Oh, no, it may not be actually. That's a good thing. No, it's not an active flow. So yeah, now it's putting some information, create contact, add a lead tag, notify the team, send an SMS, create a task for follow-up, wait 2 days for next follow-up. So it's giving me a prompt for what I wanted, which was a sale. So yeah, that whole workflow thing is massive. And that's why I wanted to spend literally the rest of the session after marketing in workflows. So the biggest thing for you to think about when it comes to marketing is this is attracting new faces and nurturing existing ones. And you have all the tools along here to help you with that. And then workflows is your little team in a box. This is where all the automation happens. This is where everything you do that is automated will live. So submitting a form on a website needs to be connected to an automation. Now, a lot of our clients that are in our done for you services, you will have like a to-do list that we add, and you will see that we always break it down into pages that need to be made and workflows that need to be connected. And every single action that happens on your websites or landing pages, think, should that be connected to a workflow? All right. So there we go. That is our 2-hour demo for Wednesday. We went through not as many pieces today, but really the beating heart of OmniSAM, that beautiful automation section in the middle. So I'd love, before we wrap up, we've got a few people here in the demo session with us who would like to share like a key takeaway, something new you learnt today. Raise your hands and I will bring, I'm just going to bring you up because that's what I do. So, Bridget, because you're the top section of my screen.
Again, I learn something new every time I go through this with you, and so much great information. I like the snippets because I have multiple different things that if somebody likes, I'd like to be able to pull it up and say, hey, you want to know about this product? Here are the benefits. Here are the, what we talked about, and this is what would be best for you. So I like that snippets part because I feel like I'm not always going to have a full workflow for each product. I just want to be able to say, hey, you ordered here's the checkoff box for you. Here's dosage. Here's when you should take it during the day, tips.
Yeah, and the links to things that you never can find the link for, but exist if it's in the snippet.
Right. So once it's together, I know where it is and I can just send that out. So that's perfect.
And when you're replying to your people, do it in OmniSAM on the contact record or in the conversations area instead of in your inbox, because that way you can choose the different platforms you reply to, but, directly in the conversations area or in the contacts file, when you're replying, that's where you'll find the option to add the snippets as well. So I'm just trying to see if I can. Let me go to the demo account so I can show you where to actually use them without going onto a real customer's account. Am I still sharing in the Zoom room? No. Was I sharing? Anyway.
I'm in the Zoom room and you're sharing to me, so.
Yeah. All right. So when you're on the contacts records here, right, you will see, and this is also this conversations window. This one is also on in the conversations. There's just no conversations because it's a demo account. But say you're doing your message, this is where your snippets live down here, right? So let's say you're going, CBD, you would have a short link and it would bring up the snippet that you would just click on. But the demo account has no snippets in it. But that's how you add the snippet, just that little button down there.
Oh.
So, yeah, makes it super easy then. And we use it all the time. Well, the team in the real account, they use it all the time when they're replying to emails. Awesome. Karen, come on up. What's one big key takeaway for you today?
Hi, Sally, absolutely fantastic. It's great just being able to see everything that is in OmniSAM. My biggest takeaway today that I'm working with is that marketing campaigns and how I actually am introducing my products. So I'm creating the product so that I've got something I can start linking to those campaigns. So the invoice, products creation, and then going into campaign marketing. So those are the key takeaways I've got and have learned a lot about today.
Love it. All right, we've got a few people with their cameras off. Just turn them on if you're okay for it to come up. Otherwise, I won't annoy you. All right. Yes. Okay, Chris, come on up. What's a key takeaway or something new you learnt today?
Well, it's a brave new world for me, so I'm seeing a whole host of possibilities, which I'm not, this moment in time, able to take advantage with, which is why I'm an elite member, because I'm looking forward to that being built for me and then learning from you guys as we go to build things which are particularly relevant to me. So just takeaways galore, I guess. Quick question in terms of the email situation. So you talked about the segmentation, etc. So once the lists and everything are all up there in the thing, do you recommend that you do most of your communications then from within OmniSAM rather than from your Gmail account?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
It allows you
that's
to
it.
kind of see your notes that you've previously spoken to them about, and it's all just contained in the one place. So in the conversations section at the top, what you'll find, let me just do a share screen here. So here in the conversations area, once you start communicating with people, let me see if I can actually create a conversation by sending. Oh, I've got no email connected, but they come up in the middle, and I'll give you a demo when we're no longer streaming, okay? And I'll show you a live active account. But yeah, in conversations, what you'll see down here is all your unread, your recent, and you can also star important, just like any normal inbox. But it's not only showing emails. It's going to show text messages, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and any other communication channels that you've got linked will all be under that. But you can also filter. So if you just want to see your chats or emails or SMSs, you can filter as well. Oops, hang on, I'm not showing the audience at home. So yeah, so this side is just like your normal email inbox, but it has all of these others connected. Okay. Then in the middle, here is where the conversation happens, and any ingoing and outgoing communications is just a long thread that you can see in time order. So they might have started on Facebook and ended up in SMS and then into, email. And then you reply down the bottom here. And then on this side, it shows you the contact's info. So you've got a quick reference point, but then you can click to go to the actual contact record itself. So let's just go into this test one, and in the contact one, it'll have personal stuff like this sort of name and email. And this is what the conversation channel thread looks like. So you can see here, this says the email who it's going to, normal BCC stuff. You write your email, you can insert a signature like you normally would. You can even time a delay. So I use this a bit when I'm writing an email at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm trying to give the impression that I'm not working at 11. So I'll schedule it to go at 9 in the morning. And then, over here is just activities and actions and notes and things on the record. But this is what you would now use instead of your Gmail. But that being said, you're still going to need to go to your Gmail account, because what won't come into here is a brand new contact that's reached out to you, and they have not yet been added to the CRM. The other thing that it won't bring in is if, say that they are in the CRM, but they initiated the email, right? That doesn't automatically go in.
Okay.
All right. So what we generally do with those ones, and we would have showed you when we set you up that BCC. So just when you reply from the Gmail, you add the BCC two-way sync, and it just syncs it back in. And then as soon as they reply, it's all good. It's just those initial ones. And the main reason for that is, if you've got Netflix subscription and, whatever else coming in, Pizza Hut, you don't want all them being added to the CRM. But generally, it will always sync, because like there's a thing that happens in the back end that you don't see, but we set up with you. when they hit reply on their emails to you, it doesn't actually come back to the master. It's like hello@reply.excellium.com.au. And that's what's used to, it's a bit techie, but it helps to keep a healthy sending domain.
Okay.
Yeah, so it keeps you out of spam boxes and things. But yeah, use that, but it doesn't, unfortunately you still don't remove everything from Gmail. But the good thing with Messenger, text message, if they're all set up, or WhatsApp and they're linked, they automatically come straight into conversations. So all of our coaches have their own Team OmniSAM business page. So if anybody wants to talk to them and they do message, straight into OmniSAM. So yeah, very handy for you.
Thank you.
We're building so many things. I haven't read this morning because I was literally first appointment at 7 and I haven't stopped. Did you see the logos yesterday? And I saw there was a video.
I did.
I didn't watch the video, but because I literally went straight into a call at 7 a.m.
The video was me telling you which one I liked. I liked them all, but I had a preference.
Which one?
So yeah, the video was showing you which one. Bottom left with the underline.
Yep.
And the actual favicon, if you like, covering the level of
top
both
and bottom. See, I like the first one and the top left with the short and the small. John liked that one too. I said, but it's going to be your choice. My thing is I usually should stop, right? But I was just having creative avoidance at like 8 o'clock last night, making everything, because I had to make all those letters as well because I didn't know what your font was.
So part of this is that you and John are the experts in graphic design and things like that, and I'm not. So I am very happy to be guided. It was between those two. For me, it was between those two.
My husband, he likes something different, right? And I don't.
Yeah, well, my wife did too.
Yeah, which one did she like?
She liked the one with Australia, sort of like all the way along the bottom, which was.
Yeah, see.
But I didn't like that because it was spaced out, and I didn't really feel that Australia needed to be as dominant as Excellium.
Exactly, yeah. When I asked my husband last night, because I was a design teacher as well as a doing all that.
But you weren't doing this at 11 o'clock, were you?
No, not last night. I finished your work at about 7:30 last night, and I actually stopped last night, which I don't normally do. Before midnight, but that's I shouldn't say that because it's very bad. I shouldn't be doing it. But I
also uploaded the assets to the
you got
drive
those
as well.
Graphics, because John's like,
I got those and everything. I got lots. 150 assets.
Oh, well, John goes, can you make this? I said, let's just ask if you can get it first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Probably should have asked that right at the beginning.
Yeah, so it's exactly the same, the one. It's just that the logo's bigger. Yeah, sweet. All right. So we've put it on.
Either or.
Yeah. No, they're both all good. No, but I actually did the Australia map as well in Illustrator, but I didn't like it. I thought, maybe I could put it in, but it just, didn't work.
Okay, all good.
Yeah, good. I don't normally do graphic work, but, we're doing such a big job for you. I'm like, let's make it real good. Tracy.
Hello.
What's the takeaway for you today?
I have to go watch, I think, at least half of it all over again. There's so much. My brain is swirling right now. But what really stood out to me was the Instagram comment on a post, because I've been looking at ManyChat. So it looks like this replaces ManyChat.
Yeah. So it is still in beta. There's a couple of things. I played with it about 6 months ago. But if that's something that you're interested in, because I need that done for us as well. Like on all of our posts, the last CTA should be comment demo, and then they can watch a demo, right? So yeah, if you're going to build that, I'd love to see how you go with it and how, what results and things you start getting with it. So yeah, definitely start coming in and sharing that if you turn that on. But yeah, I want that too. We just so many balls right now building and, with the clients that I'm actually supposed to have a funnel ready to register Marketing Impact Academy students for Shalene Johnson was supposed to be done like 2 weeks ago, and I still haven't done my own funnel. But I would love to hear how you go. I think, yeah, that'll be really, really cool to see work. ManyChat, I loved ManyChat, right? Like, because it was all automation. And we used to have little Dr. Sparkle was connected to ManyChat. So people would come in and this was before the AI thing. So I had a special Facebook page for Dr. Sparkle, and she would do a lot of different things to segment and follow up and send reminders for challenges. But I made her real playful as well, right? So they knew they were talking to a bot versus trying to, you know, but people would love it. They'd click on the buttons to follow the bounce. It's kind of like, remember the Pick a Path books that you would read? Did anyone ever read Pick a Path books as a kid?
Oh, right? Yes, of course.
That's what I felt like when I was building ManyChat, was I was building this like click and pick a path for them to go on a journey to a certain thing. And then, so it's not as good as that, but the biggest part is get that lead to that resource to get them on a call, the fast path, right?
Yes,
and
that's right.
You'll nurture them in all the other things. So, yeah. Let me know when you set it up. I'd love to jump in and have a look at how the flow looks and is working. That would be cool.
All right, will do. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's it. Our demo for this week. I'll be back next week. We do a 9 to 11. So this week we covered, we refreshed on what we did last week. We went deeper into marketing and automation. Next week, we're going to talk about funnels and forms and surveys and quizzes, and if time permits, we may jump into courses and memberships. But we're slowly working our way down. I do recommend, if you are, RIM, repetition, immersion, and then model proven practices, that's what Tony Robbins says is how to be successful. Just keep coming back. That's what I used to do. The reason I started this weekly demo was I'm modeling what they did with what I did when I first started using, well, not first, probably 12 months, 18 months after I started using eCam. But every week, like clockwork, I would go to an eCam demo. Like eCam could actually cover a lot of things in one session, not like this. But I'm getting better. I'll get better at presenting the demos. And then I really do need to figure out how to show everything in like a 40-minute window without going too overboard. But right now, I just want to dive into each of the sections and then figure out a shorter way. But I hope that the diving deeper into each section triggers a few light bulbs for you. But know that you do not have to do everything. It's a beast. Like, this is your business in a box. It truly, truly is. It's your staff members. It is all the repetitive tasks taken care of. But it's more than that. So much more. The only other software that you will need outside of OmniSAM is like a Xero, or, what's the other one, the other big MyOb, or there's another one as well that's connected in. Xero's doesn't have a native integration yet. QuickBooks. So you need, because, that's the government's money, right? Wanting our money for tax. So you're going to need one of them. Canva for design work. And still, if you've got a lot of projects like we do as an agency, a project management software. But that being said, I've heard words from the developers that tasks, they're putting a lot of development into tasks. So eventually, I would say, within a year or so, we may even see, let's cross our fingers, that OmniSAM may take over from like Asana or Basecamp or Monday, that project management world. There's a lot that goes into the project management. But you don't need project management to be able to run your business. But once you start, like I am, with lots of tasks, you're going to need it. But yeah, other than that, it does everything. Payments, courses, sites, e-com. The list goes on. I would love, actually, for those that are here, write a list of everything you think that the system will do for you, right? And what has it replaced for you? Like, what were you using before or considering using before that you're like, I don't need that now, or I can cancel that now? That would be really awesome if you could do that for me. Anyone who's still with me. How many eyeballs we've got out there? A few. So if you do that, because I'd love to see what OmniSAM has been able to replace for you, or you've been able to get that you couldn't get before because of all the expenses. Yeah, because I'm still looking for more case studies and things too. But that would be love for us. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the live stream, but the VOZ is still open. I believe there are more sessions happening in the VOZ today. I'm over time. I'm supposed to be running copywriting. We'll do that next. Bye. Never let anyone dull your sparkle. Make sure you get at least one income-producing activity done each and every day. And where's my outro screen?
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long.